Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards was the only thing exciting about UFC 278, well guess what? We might possibly be seeing MMA legend Jose Aldo versus Merab Dvalishvili battle it out on the same night. The fight hasn't been officially announced as of yet, but we've heard it's already confirmed. Keep watching this video as we will tell you everything about the Aldo versus Merab and more on the UFC. First up, an anonymous tip. So what are we on about? How do we even know this fight is in the works? Well, let's just say we've been digging around. It was apparently an anonymous tip which broke information of the super exciting bantamweight bout between future Hall of Famer Jose Aldo and a rising star Merab Dvalishvili. Two people with a confidential source inside the UFC tipped off MMA Junkie of the possible fight on Tuesday, and since they told MMA Junkie they wanted to remain anonymous, we're guessing the fight is almost confirmed. This is classic Dana though, waiting till the very last moment to announce a huge fight when there's already a blockbuster on the main card. But even if he decides to announce it tomorrow, there's going to be a major boost in ticket sales. Like, who wouldn't want to see Jose Aldo back in action? And the fact that the fight is much bigger than it seems is exactly what makes it really exciting. Provided Jose Aldo is able to streamline all that experience at UFC 278, he'll be one step closer to a title fight. At the same time, this fight will probably do wonders for the Georgian's career as well. He ranked number 6 in the bantamweight division, and squaring off against someone like Junior Mack will definitely help him get some exposure. So keep your fingers crossed, because if this fight goes through, Salt Lake City will be in for a banger. Who would have even thought getting to see Kamaru, Aldo, and Costa on the same night? An absolute delight for you UFC fans. Next, coming in hot. Alright, so imagine that Dana just announced this fight and we're going to be seeing these two dangerous men battle it out at UFC 278. So the question on everyone's mind, who wins? Honestly, that's a difficult question. Both fighters are coming in hot. Merab has had quite the UFC journey, and ever since we remember, he's been making his way to the top of the division. He started off his bantamweight career with 2 back-to-back losses, but after that, the Georgian hasn't looked back for a single second, and he's improved his record to an astonishing 7-2. And we're guessing he really took those 2 losses to heart. He's coming in really hot on a 7-fight win streak. He's pretty much dominating the league right now. He also holds the record for most takedowns in the bantamweight division with 13 in a single fight, and that's going to be a massive advantage going into this fight. Aldo is one of the best, if not the best. We'd say he pretty much is a complete fighter, but we've rarely seen him on the ground, so you could sort of say that's a weakness for him, but that's just because he doesn't end up down there much. But if we're talking about coming in hot, it's the same with Aldo. While the Brazilian has a lot more experience than Merab, he's still relatively new to this division. He's still riding a 3-fight win streak though, including convincing victories over the likes of Rob Font and Marlon Vera. And since Aldo is the bigger name, if he's able to outmaneuver the takedown king, he's definitely one step closer to a shot at the title. Anyway, despite the varying differences in their records and win streaks, Jose Aldo is surprisingly ranked 3 spots above Merab, sitting at the 3rd best fighter in the division. It kind of doesn't make sense how a fighter with a 3-win streak outranks a fighter with a 6-win streak, but anyway, that's not really our concern. We're just really hopeful this fight gets put into motion. Now, the switch. And despite the fight being rumored to be in the works, you heard it from us. It's going to happen. Why is that? Well, because Merab has already talked about it. In a UFC press conference, the Georgian talked about the big switch to the lightweight division if he ever gets a win over Jose Aldo on the 20th of August at UFC 278. And like we said, this fight is much bigger for Merab than it is for Aldo. If he gets the win, it's him who will be the next title contender. An 8-win streak demands a title fight. There's absolutely no way Dana can talk him out of a title fight after a win over Jose Aldo. But why is he even talking about a switch if he wins at UFC 278? Why would you switch when your next fight is for the title? Believe it or not, the reason why the machine wants to make the switch is because he doesn't want to share the cage with Aljamain Sterling. Sterling and Merab are quite the buddies, and fighting for the title just doesn't sit well with either of the fighters. And what we love about their friendship is that Sterling has even offered to vacate the belt and move up a weight class to the featherweight division to make way for his friend Merab's success. Anyway, it's a pretty complicated situation. We get that they're both friends and everything, but like, come on, this is the bantamweight title we're talking about. Both of these guys are bloodthirsty fighters. You can still be friends after beating the living daylights out of each other, right? But anyway, it's their decision, so let's see what happens. And let's not forget, Merab still needs to win against Aldo first for the switch to actually come into discussion. For Aldo, this is probably the last shot he'll get at gold. If he loses this one, it's been an excellent career. He's definitely going down in the Hall of Fame. Now, in other related news, not interested. Izzy is the king of the fight game right now. There's only a few guys near his level, but there's no one on his level. And instead of running after fights, the fights run after him. We gotta hand it to Cannonier though. Not a lot of fighters have the guts to go up against a guy like Adesanya. You have to be really hungry, and we can see Cannonier Adesanya is really ambitious when it comes to his career. Anyway, Izzy is clearly excited about this fight. He's finally excited to be taking on some new blood. He's tired of the same old fighters, and that's why the last stylebender is never interested when the same question gets thrown at him again and again. Adesanya has absolutely no interest in a potential trilogy fight against Bobby Knuckles, and why would he be interested? First, he won the belt from him, then he defended it against him. Then do it. We told you, everybody runs after him. It's never the other way around. Now Khabib's manager, Abdelaziz, thinks if the Russian Eagle comes out of retirement tomorrow and dropped to 185, he could finish Adesanya in just 3 rounds. Alright, well, come on and do it then. Get your boy to cut to 185 and step inside the cage with Adesanya. And even if we entertain the thought for even a second, let's not forget the fact that Izzy is the best striker in the entire world. Even though Khabib might have an advantage over him because of his wrestling, if Adesanya gets going and the combos start connecting, we don't even think the Eagle could survive the broken natty. Anyway, we think Abdelaziz just said all that for the sake of saying it. It makes no sense to throw around their names like this. Adesanya is the champ, and if you're gonna talk about how your fighter can beat him, just stop talking and make it happen. Finally, someone sees eye to eye with us about Masvidal constantly running his mouth. MMA legend DC thinks that Masvidal needs to understand that after what he's done, he better get used to fighting fighters with less name value than he's used to. In other words, what Daniel's trying to say is that Masvidal should sit down and stop thinking he's the same hotshot as he used to be because his flying knee knockout against Ben Askren was almost 4 years ago. He needs to understand that his career highlights are now just full of him getting butchered or slept inside the octagon. Cormier has also said it's going to be really hard for Warrior to fight someone in the top 5. He'll have to be more willing to accept guys that are young and just making a name for themselves. And in the case Gamebred has trouble deciding who to fight, DC also mentioned 2 fighters that will be perfect for him: Kevin Holland, a new guy, and Sean Brady. Both these guys are on their way up and have just started to make some noise at 170. Thank you, DC. Someone had to say it, and we're glad it was you. That's it from our side, folks. So what do you think? Does Aldo still have what it takes to become a champion? And if Merab wins, should he consider going up against friend Aljamain Sterling? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And remember, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos like this one in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.